The queue you can't see. You open the dashboard, and everything looks green, but your approval is still stuck somewhere you can't see. The queue didn't disappear, it just stopped being visible, and now you pay for it in meetings, notifications, and quiet delays. When systems remove visible queues and explanations, they don't remove coordination costs, they hide them, and hidden costs are easier to misallocate. Legibility is the degree to which work, waiting, and reasons are observable to the people forced to coordinate around them. A visible queue is an awkward kind of honesty. It shows that capacity is limited, that priorities collide, that some requests wait while others move. It also creates friction. People can see where they stand, who is ahead, and what is blocking them. That visibility invites questions, challenges, and sometimes conflict. So many systems optimize to reduce that friction. They replace the line you can point to with a status label, a ticket number, a processing icon, or a checklist that flips from submitted to done without showing the middle. The incentive is clear. Fewer complaints, fewer interruptions, fewer explanations demanded. The operator buys attention by removing a point of contact. But there is a constraint that does not negotiate. Throughput is bounded by time, staffing, and cognitive load. When demand rises above capacity, waiting must exist somewhere. If the waiting is not legible in a shared queue, it migrates into private inboxes, side channels, untracked spreadsheets, and memory. The work becomes less governable because it becomes less observable. Here is the trade-off. Legibility increases accountability but also increases contestation. When the queue is visible, people can argue about priority, fairness, and scope. When the queue is invisible, people cannot argue, so they also cannot coordinate. The system becomes calmer on the surface and more chaotic underneath. Hidden queues create predictable capture dynamics. Whoever controls the invisible backlog controls the order of service without having to justify it. That control can be used gently, just triage, or it can become rent, access purchased through relationships, urgency theater, or the ability to generate noise. The feedback loop is simple. Those who can escalate get faster responses, so more people learn to escalate, so escalation becomes the real queue, so the formal process decays. And because management still needs numbers, the system turns to proxies. Cycle time, tickets closed, response time, on-time percentage, metrics that seem like coordination but measure only what is easy to count. That is where metric gaming and proxy drift enter. Imagine a team measured on average time to first response. The easiest path is not better solutions, it is faster acknowledgements. An auto-reply becomes a response. The metric improves while the real queue stays hidden. Or imagine performance judged by items closed per week. Work gets fragmented into smaller tasks to inflate closures, while the hard, integrative work, alignment, risk review, careful explanation, falls through the cracks because it is slower and harder to count. The system claims progress while coordination debt grows. Remove explanations, and you also remove error correction. Explanations are not decoration, they are feedback. They let requesters update expectations, route around blockers, and detect when a rule is being applied inconsistently. Without reasons, people fill the gap with stories, and stories are cheaper than investigation. That is how invisible queues produce visible distrust. So the mechanism is not mysterious. Incentives favor quiet surfaces, constraints force waiting to exist, proxies replace reasons, gaming replaces trust, and coordination costs, no longer shared, become privatized. Legibility is not only a technical preference. It is a decision about whose attention will be spent. When cues and explanations are visible, the system asks everyone to look at scarcity together. That shared attention can be uncomfortable, but it preserves reality. It tells the truth that not everything fits, not everything is equally urgent, and not every request can be honored without trade-offs. When queues are made invisible, the system shifts the burden onto individuals. Each person must track, follow up, resend, escalate, and interpret silence. Coordination turns into a tax paid in fragmented attention. More pings, more status meetings, more just checking messages. The cost is not just time, it is meaning. People stop relating to the work as a shared project and start relating to it as a contest for access. Governance weakens in exactly this blind spot. A leader can only govern what is legible. If the queue is hidden, oversight is forced to rely on proxies, and proxies invite gaming. The organization feels smoother while becoming less truthful about how decisions are made and who bears the delay. The deeper responsibility here is not to demand perfect transparency. It is to notice what the system rewards. If quietness is rewarded, silence will spread. If speed is rewarded, explanation will shrink. If metrics are rewarded, proxies will become the target, and the real work will become a shadow. A disciplined reflection can be small and exact. Consider one metric currently being served: tickets closed, response time, approvals per day, meetings held, green status on a dashboard. Then consider one value that metric might erase when it becomes the proxy for success: fairness in ordering, clarity of reasons, safety, learning, or respect for attention. And consider where the queue truly lives. If it is not on the board, it is in someone's head. If it is not in the process, it is in the escalations. If it is not in the explanation, it is in the rumor. The point is not to accuse. It is to see the hidden coordination cost that governance cannot see unless someone names it. Invisible queues don't remove waiting, they remove accountability for waiting. Incentives do not care about your story,